Congratulations on your last supper. Did you seriously think that was just a meal? How charmingly naive. In reality, it was a triumph of food chemistry over your body. A magnificent mix of insects, beaver secretions, and wood shavings, carefully seasoned with pus and chlorine. Marketers sold you the illusion of a farmer's market, and you ate the contents of a garbage can that just happened to smell good. Today, we're going to break down 33 nauseating secrets that turn your plate into a minefield. The phrase bon appétit is about to become a thing of the past. Let's get started. Myth number 1. We adore that delicate pink color. Strawberry yogurt, candy for kids, crab sticks. It seems like the color of care and all things natural. The packaging shows a juicy berry, smiling farmers, happy cows. We see this pastoral picture, and our brain just switches off. We buy into the fairy tale. But let's take a peek behind the curtain of this puppet theater. This natural pink color is dye E120. Sounds scientific, so it must be safe, right? Not so fast. This dye is called carmine, and it's made from female insects, tiny bugs called cochineals. They are harvested from cacti, dried, and boiled in a special solution. This broth is then turned into a powder, a red powder, a concentrate of boiled bugs. Essentially, it's the mass murder of insects for the sake of color, just to make our yogurt look cute. We pay for a product that is literally mixed with corpses. This isn't just cynicism, it's Darth Vader-level marketing. We are being sold the aesthetics of death under the guise of healthy eating. So, the next time you see that gentle pink hue, know this. It's not the color of strawberries. It's the color of insect genocide. Enjoy your meal. Myth number 2. Vanilla ice cream, raspberry lemonade. That sweet, alluring aroma. What could be more innocent? In our minds, it's the smell of childhood, of summer vacation, of carefree days. The manufacturer proudly writes, "natural flavoring" on the label, and we fall right into the trap. Our brain pictures fields of vanilla, sun-drenched raspberry plantations. But the reality is much smellier and far more disgusting. Behind that natural aroma often lies castoreum. This substance is also known as beaver stream, and that's not a metaphor. It's a secretion from a beaver's special glands, located near its anus, right next to the anal glands. Beavers use it to mark their territory, and food technologists use it to flavor our food because it's cheaper than real vanilla. Just picture the scene. A special person carefully milks a beaver to obtain this musky secretion and sends it to a factory, where it will be turned into the aroma of summer. This isn't just deception, it's a humiliation. We are being fed secretions from a rodent's backside, and we're paying for the privilege. Good luck explaining that to your nose. Myth number 3. A glass of milk before bed. A symbol of health and care. Since childhood, we've been told, "Drink milk, kids, and you'll be healthy." Commercials show us alpine meadows, cows listening to classical music, an idyll worthy of a Raphael painting. We believe that milk is a pure, white, perfect product. But let's come down from the clouds and get right to the cow's udder. Any milk we buy in the store is legally allowed to contain somatic cells. It sounds complicated, but the translation is simple. Blood and pus cells. They get into the milk due to mastitis, an inflammation of the cow's udder, which is almost constantly inflamed from perpetual milking. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, permits up to 750,000 somatic cells per milliliter. 750,000. In Europe, the standards are stricter, but the principle is the same. We're not just drinking milk, we're drinking a cocktail of milk, pus, and blood. We're being sold the product of a sick animal disguised as a health elixir. It's like if Dr. House opened a dairy farm. Cynical, effective, and very profitable. So go ahead, drink your milk, but just know that there's more drama in it than a soap opera. Myth number 4. Shiny little candies, colorful dragées, glazed chewing gum. They shimmer so seductively in the light like tiny treasures. Your hand reaches for them automatically. This glossy, almost mirror-like shine seems to us a sign of quality. We think it's some kind of special food-grade polish. And we're almost right. Except the origin of this polish will make you want to wash your hands, and then your mouth. This shiny coating is called shellac, and it's nothing more than the secretions of insects, specifically lac bugs. These insects live in the tropics, feed on tree sap, and excrete a resinous substance to protect their offspring. People scrape this resin from the branches, purify it, and get the very same shellac that is then used to coat candies to make them shiny and prevent them from melting in your hands. Yes, you understood correctly. We are being sold candy coated in insect excretions. It's the exact same shellac used to produce varnish for furniture. Imagine licking an old chest of drawers. The sensation is about the same, just with added sugar. It's a business model that the Joker himself would envy, selling us the waste products of bugs as a premium treat. Myth number 5. The perfect steak. Juicy, uniform, a beautiful piece of meat. We see it in a restaurant or in a vacuum-sealed package and are willing to pay a hefty price for it. We think we're paying for quality, for a whole cut of choice beef. But very often, we're in for a disappointment on the level of the Game of Thrones finale. We're simply being tricked with a special meat glue. It's called transglutaminase, or meat glue. It's an enzyme that allows small scraps of meat to be glued together into a single solid piece. They take waste from meat production, trimmings that used to go into animal feed, sprinkle them with this white powder, press them tightly, and put them in the refrigerator. After a few hours, these pieces fuse together to form a perfect steak, indistinguishable from a real one. It's then sold to us as a premium product. This is the pinnacle of culinary Frankenstein. We are sold a meat monster assembled from leftovers. This isn't just about saving money. It's the philosophy of modern business. Why sell something real when you can sell a perfect fake and make 10 times more? Welcome to the world of food illusions. Myth number 6. Fluffy, soft bread, airy buns, croissants that melt in your mouth. We consider bread the staff of life, a simple and honest product. But here too, a surprise awaits us, a surprise with a very unpleasant odor. To make the dough more elastic and soft, an amino acid is added. It's called L-cysteine. On the packaging, it might be listed as additive E920. Sounds harmless, but the source of this L-cysteine is, to put it mildly, unappetizing. Most often, it's derived from human hair. Yes, you heard that right. In China, barbershops collect hair and sell it to chemical plants. There, it's dissolved in acid to extract the L-cysteine. Another popular source is duck and chicken feathers and pig bristles. That means our homemade-style bread has processed hair or feathers added to it. This is beyond comprehension. We are eating a product that contains parts of other beings in the most literal sense. It's some kind of medieval alchemy, only instead of gold, they're trying to make a fluffy bun out of hair. Not even David Lynch could have imagined such a plot twist. Myth number 7. Grated Parmesan cheese. We sprinkle it on our pasta, add it to salads, feeling like true Italians. Convenient packaging. Perfectly grated cheese. It doesn't clump. It sprinkles easily. It seems like a brilliant invention. But why does cheese grated at home clump together, while the store-bought version doesn't? The secret is painfully simple, and it will shock you. To prevent the cheese from clumping, cellulose is added. On the package, it might be listed as powdered cellulose, or additive E460. And what is cellulose? It's wood pulp. In simpler terms, sawdust. Yes, actual wood sawdust. It's specially processed, ground up, and mixed into the cheese. It absorbs moisture and keeps the cheese from sticking together. In some cheap brands, the cellulose content can be as high as 10%. 10% sawdust in your parmesan. We pay for cheese, and we get cheese with sawdust. This isn't just deceit. It's a mockery. We are literally being fed wood. Pinocchio would be thrilled. His dream has come true. Food made from wood exists, and we're buying it. Myth number 8. Peanut butter. A favorite treat for American kids and many adults worldwide. We spread it on toast, add it to oatmeal, and enjoy its rich, nutty flavor. We're confident it's a healthy and nutritious product. After all, it's just ground peanuts. What could possibly go wrong? But even in this jar of paste, an unpleasant surprise awaits us. An official one, permitted by law. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, publishes specific guidelines on the allowable content of foreign matter in food products. And so, in peanut butter, they officially allow 1 rodent hair per 100 grams of product, 1 mouse or rat hair per 100 grams. And this is considered the norm, a safe level of contamination. This means that when we eat a peanut butter sandwich, there's a chance we're eating it with a side of mouse fur. This isn't an accident. It's a statistically acceptable margin of error. It's simply not profitable for manufacturers to make a perfectly clean product. It's cheaper to set a standard for filth. It's like a scene from a bad movie where the hero thinks he's eating a delicacy, but it's actually something disgusting. Only this isn't a movie, this is our breakfast. Myth number 9. Canned mushrooms. Convenient, quick. Just open the can, and they're ready. We add them to pizza, soups, salads. We're sure it's a safe product, sterilized and perfectly clean. But here too, a small, wriggling surprise awaits us. Or maybe several surprises. The very same FDA that allows mouse hairs in peanut butter has its standards for mushrooms as well. In canned mushrooms, the presence of maggots or worms is officially permitted. Up to 20 of them per 100-gram can. 20 little worms. And this is considered acceptable because completely cleaning mushrooms of their forest inhabitants is practically impossible and expensive. So, it was decided to just allow their presence. We buy a can of mushrooms and get a can of mushrooms with a protein supplement in the form of maggots. It's like Russian roulette. Will you get a worm or not? It turns dinner into an extreme thrill ride. And the most cynical part is that it's completely legal. The manufacturer isn't even required to mention it because it's an acceptable level, a standard for disgust. Myth number 10. Ranch dressing, donuts with white icing, chewing gum. What do they have in common? A bright, perfectly white color. So white it almost glows. We perceive this color as a symbol of purity and freshness. But this perfect white is the result of a chemical trick, and the main ingredient in this trick will surprise you. To achieve such whiteness, manufacturers use titanium dioxide. This substance is known as additive E171. Sounds neutral. But there's a catch. Titanium dioxide is the main component of white paint, the same paint used for walls. It's used in the production of paper, plastic, cosmetics, and food. It has no taste, no smell. It just makes the product dazzlingly white. We are eating a dressing that contains paint. We are giving our children donuts whitened with a substance meant for walls. It's absurd. It's as if we decided to sprinkle our food with chalk to make it look prettier. Some studies have linked titanium dioxide to intestinal problems, but it's still permitted because beautiful food sells better, even if it's made from building materials. Myth number 11. A juicy, crisp apple. We buy it in February, and it looks like it was just picked from the branch. Perfect, shiny, without a single blemish. We think this is the result of modern agricultural technology. But in reality, it's the result of modern technologies of necromancy. This apple is a true zombie. It might have been picked a year ago or even longer. The secret to the apple's eternal youth is simple. After harvesting, they are placed in special storage facilities. Oxygen is pumped out of these chambers, and a gas is pumped in. A mixture of carbon dioxide and a special inhibitor, like 1-methylcyclopropene. This gas blocks the production of ethylene, the ripening hormone. The apple falls into a state of suspended animation. It doesn't breathe. It doesn't ripen. It isn't alive. It simply exists in a coma. When it's time to sell, it's taken out of the chamber, coated with wax, and sent to the store shelf. We are not buying a fresh fruit. We are buying a mummy. Perfectly preserved, but dead inside. It has almost no vitamins left, only fiber and sugar. It's the perfect metaphor for our society. A beautiful shell with emptiness inside. Okay, stop. Let's press pause. Do you feel your brain starting to melt? That's normal. It's a defense mechanism against the truth. You want to throw all the food out of the fridge, go live in the woods, and survive on roots and sunlight. Don't be hasty. First, in the woods, you'll be eaten by mosquitoes. Second, the most interesting part is yet to come. We've only just started scratching the gold plating off this food paradise. Now we're moving on to the heavy artillery, to things that will make you question reality itself. Fasten your seatbelts. We are descending to the next level of food hell, where secret number 12 awaits. Expired sausage. We see it's nearing its expiration date and walk past with disgust. We think it will be written off and disposed of. How naive we are. In the world of business, nothing goes to waste, especially if it can be sold again. Expired boiled sausages, hot dogs, and wieners are returned to the factory. There, they are washed in special solutions to remove slime and odor. Then, they are ground into a uniform mass and added to a new batch of fresh minced meat as a filler. By law, the proportion of such returned raw material can be up to 20%. We buy fresh sausage, and 1/5 of it consists of expired recycled product. It's a brilliant recycling system. Only they're not recycling plastic, they're recycling rot. Myth number 13. Supermarket chicken. White, clean, odorless, a perfect bird, ready for cooking. We place it in our cart without a second thought. But why is it so perfect? Where did the natural smell of meat go? Why doesn't it spoil for so long? The answer is simple and smells of chlorine, literally. At many poultry farms, especially in the US, the practice of chlorine baths is common. After slaughter and gutting, the chicken carcasses are submerged in huge vats of ice-cold water with a high chlorine content. This is done for disinfection, to kill salmonella and other bacteria, and at the same time, it whitens the carcass and removes any unpleasant odors. If the chicken wasn't super fresh, the chlorine will mask it. We're not just buying chicken, we're buying chicken that has been bathed in a swimming pool full of chlorine, like at a cheap hotel. Some of this chlorine is absorbed into the meat and ends up on our table. In Europe, this practice is banned, but in other countries, it's the norm. We are sold a chemically treated product, sterile and lifeless, like a museum exhibit. Except we eat it. Myth number 14. Ground beef. The basis for meatballs, burgers, and bolognese. We buy it thinking it's just ground meat. But sometimes, it's not exactly meat, or not meat at all. Meat pink slime. That's the official term, coined by the manufacturers themselves. It's a product made from meat waste, fat trimmings, connective tissue, cartilage, whatever is left after a carcass is butchered. It used to go into making soap or dog food, but then a brilliant technology was invented. These scraps are heated and spun in a centrifuge to separate the fat. The resulting mass is then treated with ammonia gas to kill all bacteria like E. coli and salmonella. The result is a pink, paste-like substance, the infamous pink slime. It's frozen and added to regular ground beef, up to 15% to make the product cheaper. We are eating burgers made from waste treated with ammonia. It sounds like the plot of a horror movie where a mad scientist creates food from garbage. Only this isn't a movie. This is reality. Myth number 15. Gummy bears, jelly candies, marshmallows, desserts we've loved since childhood. They seem so light and airy, bright and fruity. We give them to our kids without a second thought. But if children knew what gelatin is made of, they would cry. Gelatin is the base of all these treats. And what is gelatin? It's a protein obtained by boiling. Prolonged boiling of animal hides, cartilage, hooves, and bones, mostly from pigs and cows. They take the waste from slaughterhouses, the parts that can't be sold, and boil it for hours until all the connective tissues turn into a sticky mass. This mass is then clarified, dried, and ground into a powder. That's gelatin. We are eating candies made from boiled down bones. This is not a metaphor, it's the production process. Every time you chew a gummy bear, you are chewing on the processed remains of animals. It's like a gothic party in our mouths, just without the cool music and with fruit flavoring. Myth number 16. Ice cream. Creamy, smooth, slow melting. The perfect dessert on a hot day. We look at the ingredients: milk, cream, sugar. But often you'll find a modest guest on the list: propylene glycol, also known as additive E1520. It sounds scientific. The manufacturer will explain that it's necessary for softness, to prevent the ice cream from turning into a block of ice, to give it that pleasant, creamy texture. All of this is true, but there's one small yet very important detail. Propylene glycol is the main component of antifreeze. Yes, the same liquid you pour into your car's radiator to keep it from freezing in the winter. This substance from the auto parts store is being added to our food. In small doses, it's considered safe, but the very fact of it is staggering. We are eating dessert with antifreeze. It's like being offered a salad dressed with motor oil, an absurdity that has been normalized. The manufacturer found a way to sell us a product from the world of automotive chemicals, disguised as a refreshing treat. Brilliant and disgusting. Myth number 17. The glossy apple. It shines so brightly you can see your reflection in it. We instinctively choose these fruits. They seem the freshest, the healthiest. But this shine is not natural. It's artificial makeup for fruit. After being harvested, apples are washed, and this process removes their natural waxy coating, which protects them from spoiling. To extend their shelf life and give them a marketable appearance, they are coated with a new layer of wax. Often this wax is made from petroleum products, the same ones used to make gasoline and paraffin candles. We are buying an apple coated in a thin layer of petroleum. This wax is almost impossible to wash off with water. It clogs the pores in the skin and enters our bodies. We wanted to eat vitamins, but we ended up eating a petroleum byproduct. It's like if the winner of a beauty pageant wore a plastic mask. We only see the outer shell, perfect and shiny. What's underneath, nobody cares. The only thing that matters is that it sells. Myth number 18. A piece of meat in a package. It looks juicy and firm. We bring it home, put it in a pan, and the magic begins. The piece of meat shrinks before our eyes, hissing and releasing a huge amount of water. We think this is a natural process, but it's not. It's the result of another deception called plumping. To increase the weight of the meat, it's injected with a special brine solution using hundreds of tiny needles. This solution can consist of water, salt, phosphates, and flavor enhancers. The meat, like a sponge, absorbs this liquid, and its weight increases by 20 or even 30%. We go to the store for meat and end up buying meat with water. We are paying for water at the price of beef. It's the perfect business, selling water disguised as meat. The phosphates in the solution help retain moisture even during cooking, but some of it still escapes, turning our kitchen into a steam room. This isn't just a scam, it's a systemic deception that has become the norm. Myth number 19. Processed cheese. That nostalgic taste from the past. We make sandwiches with it, add it to soups. It seems like the simplest, most affordable cheese. But sometimes this cheese is missing the most important ingredient: cheese. Or more accurately, milk. Many cheap processed cheeses are actually cheese products. Read the label carefully. This means the milk fat has been replaced with vegetable fat, most often cheap palm oil. They take vegetable fat, add water, starch, salt, emulsifiers, and, of course, flavorings with the proud name cheese. The result is something. Its consistency and smell resemble cheese, but in essence, it's just a block of solidified fat with chemicals. It's a phantom product, a decoy. Like in The Matrix, we are shown the image of a steak, but we're actually eating a nutritious biomass. It's the same here. We are sold the image of cheese, but we are eating palm oil with a scent of nostalgia. Myth number 20. A glass of cold, clear beer. A perfectly pure golden color. We value this clarity. It seems to be a sign of quality. But how do brewers achieve such crystal purity? After fermentation, beer is cloudy due to yeast and protein residues. The secret lies in the clarification process, and one of the oldest methods will shock you. To clarify some types of beer, especially British ales, they use isinglass. Yes, you heard that right. It's obtained from the dried swim bladders of fish, most often sturgeon. When added to the beer, this fining agent binds to the cloudy particles, causing them to settle at the bottom. The beer becomes clear. The isinglass itself is later removed, but traces of it can remain in the drink. Vegans are sounding the alarm, but many people have no idea they are drinking beer that was filtered using fish guts. It's like finding out your favorite sweater is knitted from spiderwebs. Unexpected, and somehow not very pleasant. Myth number 21. Juice in a carton. A convenient box with a straw. We give it to our kids for school. We drink it ourselves, certain that it's 100% vitamins. But sometimes, an uninvited guest awaits us in that box. A very resilient and dangerous one. Mold. Tetra Pak cartons are airtight, but microcracks can appear during transportation or storage. Air gets inside through them, and with it, mold spores. In the sweet, moist environment of the juice, the mold begins to grow. From the outside, the box looks perfect, but inside, a whole terrarium is developing. We don't see it and drink it without a care. People often complain about a strange taste or find clumps of mold at the bottom of their glass. This is very dangerous. Mold produces mycotoxins, poisons that can cause food poisoning or allergic reactions. We thought we were drinking health, but in reality, we're playing the lottery. Will you get lucky or not? Myth number 22. Cheap pâté. We spread it on bread for a quick snack. It's inexpensive, filling, and seems to be made of meat. At least that's what it says on the package. But the devil, as always, is in the details. And in the case of pâté, it's in the ingredients. To make pâté cheap, manufacturers resort to all sorts of tricks. They use what's called mechanically separated meat. This is when bones with meat scraps still attached are forced through a sieve under high pressure. The result is a paste-like mass of meat, cartilage, and bone marrow. They also add skins, pork or chicken ears, connective tissue, and the lowest quality offal. All of this is ground into a uniform emulsion, generously seasoned with salt, flavor enhancers, and soy protein to make it resemble meat in some way. We are not eating pâté. We are eating recycled waste, neatly packed in a can. This is the pinnacle of food engineering, creating food from something that is not food. If you've watched up to this point, I applaud you. You have nerves of steel, or you're just a masochist. Either way, you've earned a stronger dose of the truth. You are the ones who are not afraid to face reality, even if it smells like chlorine and beaver butt. For that, you get a bonus level of cynicism. We are moving on to the delicacies, to what is considered elite food. And now we will see that we are being deceived there too, only much more elegantly and for a lot more money. And so, fact number 23. A beautiful salmon steak. A bright orange, almost coral color. We associate it with health, with omega-3 fatty acids, with the wild. We pay a lot of money for this fish, confident in its benefits. But that beautiful color is just a marketing trick. Wild salmon has this color because it feeds on krill and crustaceans, which contain astaxanthin, a natural carotenoid. But salmon raised on a farm eats compound feed made from soy and corn. And if nothing is added to color it, its flesh will be gray. A pale gray like a dreary autumn day. Nobody would buy gray fish. Therefore, synthetic astaxanthin is added to the feed of farmed salmon. Essentially, a dye. We are being sold dyed fish, passed off as wild. It's like dyeing a gray-haired old man's hair blonde and sending him to a young talent competition. Myth number 24. A cup of aromatic coffee. Our morning can't start without it. We inhale its scent, savor its bitter taste. Coffee is our ritual, our fuel. But there's a secret the baristas don't talk about, one that might explain why some people have a coffee allergy. During the harvesting and processing of coffee beans, insects inevitably get mixed in, mostly tropical cockroaches. It's impossible and unprofitable to completely separate them from the beans on huge plantations. So they are ground up along with the coffee. Yes, your bag of ground coffee contains a certain percentage of ground-up cockroaches. The FDA allows up to 10% of beans to be infested with insects. A coffee allergy is often not an allergy to caffeine itself, but an allergy to chitin, the substance that makes up insect exoskeletons. We are not just drinking coffee. We are drinking coffee with cockroaches. It's the most invigorating cocktail you can imagine. It truly opens your eyes to the world. Myth number 25. Chicken nuggets, a favorite food for kids and adults at fast food chains. A crispy coating, tender meat inside. But have you ever wondered why the oil in the deep fryer doesn't foam? With such intense frying, it should behave differently. The secret is a small additive. Dimethylpolysiloxane is added to the oil used for frying nuggets. Try saying that 3 times fast. It's a synthetic polymer. In simple terms, silicone. The same kind used in sealants, breast implants, and toys like Silly Putty. It prevents the oil from foaming and extends its life. In small amounts, it's considered safe. But the very fact that we are eating chicken fried in oil with silicone raises questions. This is no longer cooking. It's a chemical laboratory where food is prepared using industrial polymers. Our bodies are not construction sites, but we are being fed as if they were. Myth number 26. The magic phrase on the packaging, natural flavoring. When we see it, we relax. Natural means good. It means they took an orange, squeezed the juice, and added it to the product. How lovely. But this is just another trick, a smokescreen. By law, the phrase natural flavoring can hide almost anything, as long as the original source material was natural, a plant or an animal. But what's done to it afterward is high-level chemistry. A natural flavor can be a complex mixture of 100 or more chemical compounds, including solvents, emulsifiers, and preservatives, which create the desired scent. For example, to get strawberry flavor, you don't need strawberries. You need a chemist who can mix a few dozen substances in a test tube. The original source material could be anything, even wood shavings. A natural flavor can be synthesized from them too. This is deception elevated to an art form. We are being sold a chemical cocktail under the guise of nature's gifts. Myth number 27. Crab sticks. We add them to salads, thinking they are a cheap substitute for crab meat. After all, there's a crab on the package, and the name speaks for itself. But this is one of the greatest deceptions in the history of the food industry. There's not a single gram of crab in crab sticks. None whatsoever. Their base is surimi, a fish paste made from the scraps of white fish that are hard to sell whole, like pollock, hake, or blue whiting. This fish is washed multiple times to remove fat, blood, and odor, leaving a tasteless protein mass. Starch, egg white, salt, sugar, and of course, crab flavoring and coloring are added to give the sticks their familiar pink hue. Essentially, it's the fish equivalent of a hot dog, made from leftovers and seasoned with chemicals. Calling them crab sticks is like calling a bicycle a Ferrari just because it's also red and has wheels. Myth number 28. Salt, spices, dry soup mixes. They are always so free-flowing, never clumping, even in humid conditions. We think this is a sign of quality, but it's the work of another improver. To prevent caking, silicon dioxide is added to powdered products. It's also known as additive E5551. It sounds complex, but it's actually sand. Yes, ordinary purified sand. Its microscopic particles coat the crystals of salt or spices and prevent them from sticking together. It's considered harmless because it's not absorbed by the body. It just passes through. But the very fact that we are voluntarily eating sand is strange. We pay for spices and get spices with sand. It's like buying a car and discovering the engine is filled with rocks to keep it from vibrating. Manufacturers solve the clumping problem in the cheapest way possible, by simply adding a little bit of the beach to our food. Myth number 29. Sausage, ham, hot dogs, canned fish, even cottage cheese. They are always so juicy, moist, even after long storage. What's the secret? The secret is phosphates. These substances are true magicians. They have the ability to retain water. They are added to almost all processed foods. Phosphates bind water molecules and prevent them from evaporating, even during heat treatment. This allows the manufacturer to kill two birds with one stone. First, the product looks juicier and more appetizing. Second, its weight increases thanks to that very water. We are being sold water at the price of food. But phosphates are not just a scam on our wallets. An excess of them is harmful to health. It disrupts calcium absorption, which can lead to osteoporosis. But business is business. If you can sell water, you sell water, and you call it juiciness. Myth number 30. Extra virgin olive oil, a symbol of the Mediterranean diet, health, and longevity. We pay a high price for it, confident that we are buying liquid gold. But in most cases, we are buying a clever fake. The olive oil market is one of the most corrupt. Up to 70% of the oil sold as extra virgin is counterfeit. That's in the best case scenario. In the worst case, it's up to 80%. It's diluted with cheaper sunflower, soy, or canola oil. Sometimes even lamp oil, which is not intended for consumption. Then chlorophyll is added to this mixture for color and beta-carotene for aroma. And it's sold to us as a premium product. We think we are taking care of our hearts, but we are actually eating a cheap blend of vegetable fats. It's like buying a business class ticket and flying in the cargo hold. Only we'll never know. Myth number 31. Fresh meat on the counter. Bright red. Juicy. It looks like the animal was running around just yesterday. We instinctively choose these cuts because, for us, the color red is synonymous with freshness. But this color can be a deadly illusion. Meat that is starting to spoil turns dark, becoming grayish-brown. To extend its life on the shelf, it's treated with carbon monoxide. Yes, the same gas released in a fire that people die from. The meat is placed in modified atmosphere packaging where oxygen is replaced with carbon monoxide. It reacts with the myoglobin in the muscles and blocks the oxidation process. The meat stays bright pink, even when it has already started to rot. It can be dangerous, teeming with bacteria, but it will look perfect. It's makeup for a corpse, making it attractive and deadly. Myth number 32. The smoky aroma. Sausages, bacon, fish. This smoky scent drives us crazy. It's associated with nature, with a campfire, with real food. We buy products labeled smoked, thinking they were actually smoked in special smokehouses over alder chips. But that's too slow and expensive. Modern industry has found a shortcut. Liquid smoke. This isn't just a flavoring, it's a chemical condensate. The products of wood combustion are dissolved in water, creating a concentrated liquid with a strong smoke smell. This liquid is simply brushed onto meat or fish or added directly to the minced meat. It's quick, cheap, and effective. The problem is that this condensate contains carcinogens like benzopyrene and formaldehyde, the same substances found in cigarette smoke. We're not eating a smoked product. We're eating a product soaked in a carcinogenic chemical. It's like smoking through your stomach. Myth number 33. Bacon-flavored chips. Cheese-flavored croutons. We crunch on them in front of the TV, marveling at how accurately the technologists have reproduced the taste. How did they do it? Do they add real bacon to the chips? Of course not. That would be too expensive. The secret lies in yeast. But not ordinary yeast. Genetically modified yeast. Scientists have learned to program yeast. They insert genes responsible for specific flavors into its DNA, and this yeast starts producing the necessary aromatic compounds. Essentially, they are tiny biofactories that can synthesize the taste of anything on command. Cheese, bacon, sour cream, and onion. Then, this yeast is dried to create a powder, which is sprinkled on the chips. We are eating a product whose taste was created by GMO yeast. This is the pinnacle of food simulation. We no longer need real food. Its genetically programmed code is enough. So, what's the bottom line? We are living in a giant food matrix, a world where color, taste, and smell are not properties of food, but the result of the work of chemists and marketers. We are fed illusions, beautiful, tasty, but completely fake. We search the shelves for health and find props. We've been convinced that food should be fast and convenient, but they forgot to tell us that we pay for this speed with our future. But there is good news. There is a way out of this matrix. And it's not to run off to the woods. It's to switch on your brain, to read labels, to ask questions, and to remember that the best food is simple and understandable food. And here is the promised 34th fact, the illusion of choice. We stand in front of the yogurt aisle. Dozens of brands, hundreds of flavors. It seems like we have a huge choice. But in reality, 90% of these brands belong to 3 or 4 giant corporations that make them in the same factories, from the same ingredients. We are being played like fools. Stop being an NPC in someone else's game. Subscribe to the channel. Here, we hack the system. Every week.